Hey guys, White Sheep, aka CG here, and I'm going to discuss today one of the biggest news stories to come out of Marvel, potentially. I guess this is technically a rumor, but a lot of people are saying it might be true. And also discuss just the Edgar Wright loss in general. Now, everybody should have been excited to see Edgar Wright and what he could bring to a Marvel movie in Antman. He always seems to have a very unique vision and humor that just translates really well on screen and has resulted in some of the most critically acclaimed movies of the last 10 years, pretty much. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, World's End. All of those are great, unique comedies that also have a really interesting visual and visceral quality to them. And so everybody was really excited to see what he could bring to Ant-Man. And a lot of people might not know that he was actually signed on for Ant-Man back in 2006. Yes, 2006, and if I'm wrong, or if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's even before Iron Man started production. So he's been tied to this thing for a long time, but unfortunately, lots of delays have caused changes in plans. And, who knows? A lot of people are saying that he was trying to push Ant-Man back further, and that's why Marvel was like, look, we need this out now, so you gotta go. A lot of people are saying that Marvel issued unauthorized rewrites of his script, which pissed him off. Either way, it's a tragic loss for Marvel Studios, and for all of us, really, because we'll never get to see what he might have brought to a Marvel movie. But anyways, news has broken recently, of course, from Latino Review. Who else would it come to? And I take everything with Latino Review with a huge grain of salt, because they're more often than not just guessing. And in this case, it is from El Mayimbe, so it probably is just a guess. However, I will say this makes a lot of sense to me, and if it's not this, then I apologize, but I do agree with his logic. I see where he's coming from, and I think this will be announced soon. It's been rumored that Ant-Man has found its new director in Louis D'Esposito, who is the director of the one-shots Agent Carter and Item 47, and if that's true, that just shows you, what being a good company man will get you, because he sweated it out, he grinded it out in these one-shots, and now he's being rewarded with his own film. Now, why do I believe this necessarily? It makes sense. As El Mayimbe points out, Marvel went to in-house writers to fix the script. It makes sense that they might go to an in-house director. And potentially the second most important part of this theory is that it makes a lot of sense that they would go to an in-house director, partially because they're going to have a lot of, a really difficult time finding an out-of-house director. Edgar Wright, even though he had never really made a blockbuster, I don't count any of, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World End, I don't count those as blockbusters. This was going to be, his first big movie, or really his biggest movie, not his first big movie, but probably his biggest movie to date. But even though he hasn't made a huge movie, he has so many friends in the movie industry. Literally every other young up-and-coming director pretty much seems like they're friends with Edgar Wright. Rian Johnson, James Gunn. I'm pretty sure Chris Miller and Phil Lord, or Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're the same person to me. I'm pretty sure they are also friends with Edgar Wright, and so Marvel would have a really hard time finding a young visionary director to direct this movie. And therefore, it makes sense for them to go in-house just because it's the easiest thing to do. And furthermore, as El Mayimbe points out, everything's done. Storyboarding is done, the script is done, the actors are hired. All you gotta do is direct the movie. And it sounds a lot easier than it is, but it's a lot of the grunt work has already been done, and since Marvel still owns that property, they can still put on the movie. So, if it's true, round of applause for Louis D'Esposito. You finally are getting your shot. I'm excited to see it. We've all seen those one-shots, and they're all pretty good. So, I think especially Item 47, the tone of that might transmit, I guess, might carry over to Ant-Man. So anyways, that about wraps it up for me here. We'll see. It might be true. It might not be true. It's a Latino Review. But anyways, I'd say this is a solid guess from El Mayimbe. And it's a theory that I put myself behind 100%. And if I'm wrong, so help me God. Anyways, signing off, this is the White Sheep, aka CJ, and I'll see you next time.